Well, hi and welcome to my shop. Thanks so much for coming and joining me here today. I haven't worked on this radio for about, I don't know, it could be 5-6 days now. Well, I did another project and waited for some lights to arrive. I have the lights, and that's what today's video is going to be about. It's going to be about the lights, bringing the light in on this radio, specifically the backlight for the dial. You see the two original lights here. Don't think those are even original. I think those are replacement lights, but I'm not sure. And what I've got are some LED lights to replace them. Screw-in LED lights, 6.3 volt lights. So I'm really anxious to see what they look like and how well they work. And part of the challenge here of putting lights in is not difficult. It's replacing the paper diffuser that was installed in here, which was ripped and torn. And so I have something like this. It's just an ordinary piece of paper to try to fit in to act as a new diffuser. That's the challenge. We'll see how it goes. It's just another little bit of the challenge here. Actually, the really challenging part of this. Diffuser paper is held on two support strings. One is this brown string down here, this one here, and another brown string up here. Now in both cases, maybe not in both, let me remove this temporary support here. So in both cases, the pointers are rubbing up against the string. The string needs to be pulled down a touch. So when I put the paper in, when I'm done, this string has to be lifted, and the lower one lifted and the upper one dropped just a touch. That's the challenge. So there's no interference between here and the paper, likewise down here. That's the challenge. That is the challenge. My first step, and I go drink some more coffee. Okay, I think maybe the first step is to find out what's going on with the original two light bulbs and to make sure that they are burned out. So it would be wise to replace them in any case. And now I have a chance to introduce a new joiner in my shop. The Allen meter. Look at that. The Allen meter. This means my old meter, which I've used for years and years, can be retired because it's gotten a little bit unreliable in favor of the Allen meter. Now, why am I calling this an Allen meter? Because the fellow who sent it to me, his name is Allen. So it's my first chance to actually use it in the shop here. Now I'm going to use it as an ohm meter. So don't know how this one operates in terms of shutting itself off. But it has an off setting right here. And we're going to go around to resistance. Here it is here. Okay. That's a 0 really quick. What about this light? Okay, so this light's burned out. Hoping one of these is good so I can use it as a comparator. Well, won't be that one. It just broke. Holy smokes. Never had that happen before. Yeah, so I don't think this light's going to work. How do you like that? Doesn't take long before the challenges start showing up. Okay, let's see if we can get this out. I think I'm going to lift it up. There's a lot of strings here to break. Let's get it back. Okay, I won't have a comparator. I have lots of miniature lights, but I have virtually none that are this type, the screw type, which is called an E10, I believe. So all I can do is stick one of these in and stick two of these in and see what happens. I hope these turn out to be good. Now I think the original light bulbs in here, I'm guessing, were not clear glass like this, but were frosted. It's been my experience that they're frosted. This is clear. I just hope it just doesn't beam the light straight out. We will see how bright it is and where it casts the light. Okay, I put two in. I think these are far preferred over regular lights. I think they're going to draw less power and not heat up, I think. Just stick them on lightly here. Okay, Allen meter, you did your job. First chance. First chance. Were you nervous? No, the meter says he's not nervous. That meter's got some interesting features. It's got a light built into it. Okay, so I'm going to put this on broadcast. I think that's broadcast. I don't have the front part yet. Just interestingly enough, where the magic eye is here, and you have the frame, around it is what looks like sandpaper. It really looks like sandpaper, but this is actually a foam paper, and the foam is completely collapsed. And there's some of it there. And that's very common in old radios where foam was used. Foam, in almost every case, I find the foam is just disintegrated, or it's become so friable, if you touch it, it just crumbles away. So that's something to think a bit about. Obviously that's a light block of some sort, I think, to keep the light away from this. So it looks better. Okay, now I haven't operated this radio for a while. I'm going to turn it on. Let's see, speaker's still connected, its original connection. No antenna on it. Well, I'm going to go on broadcast. I have this antenna. Volume turn down. And that should. Well, if it's not broadcast, let's see. I think it's long wave broadcast, short wave FM. I'm pretty sure that's broadcast. Okay. This comes with a ginormous cord. Very long cord here. And here we go. This should come on right away. Wow, look at that. There's lots of light there. And this is only partial voltage. That's full voltage. Didn't make any difference. It must have voltage regulator in it. Doesn't seem to make any difference. So it's going to require a fair bit of experimenting here to see what kind of diffuser is necessary. It also looks to me, get this in here. So this is not coming across on camera at all. It's like this. This would be very hard for me to video. So these lights are flashing. If I stare at them steady with my direct vision, I cannot see, like I'm looking at this one, I cannot see it's flashing. But out of the side of my eye, I can see this one is flashing. I really think our peripheral vision is not simply poorer than our direct vision. Well, we can't see anything in that camera. Nothing in there. I have to rely on my own eye, because what you're seeing is just completely misleading. Yeah, it's very odd. If I look at this light, this one is flickering. And if I look at this light, this one is flickering. And I'm going to guess it's because they have a just a half-wave rectifier inside there. I don't know why. That's a little bit of a disappointment. But on the camera, you don't see any of it whatsoever. So of course this doesn't go behind it or under it, it goes in front of it. Well, we're going to have to really bring the whole front panel back in and set this up for a proper experiment. Very good. Is there any sound? It's working! Good. I'm going to shut it off though. Okay, so I'm going to set things up so we can experiment a little bit and get a feel for what this is going to look like as it stands. So I think on my initial examination of this radio, I noticed some green up in here. You can see green in the line there. Now I know exactly what that actually is. So on the back, you can see the imprint of this material. This material which chemically dissolved in some fashion and must have resulted in something like an acid or some kind of chemical that was able to attack the back of this. And unfortunately, I think, if we look, you can see it's actually taken the paint right off the back. Now, the good thing is, when we put it back together, these will go back in the same spot again, and no light will come through it. Otherwise, ooh, don't bang this. Otherwise, this would be highlighted by light. We don't want that to happen. That's probably what they were trying to prevent, was the light from the dial lights from somehow leaking around to the front of the magic eye. So I think this will just sit in here. Pretty much as it would be. Not quite, because I don't know if I can actually clip it. It's holding it back. It's pushing very hard against this bracket here. We'll just leave it out like this for now, because every time I push it, it's going to scrape and do other stuff to it. I don't want that to happen. Because to a large degree, this is the radio. The dial is the radio. Certainly from a visual point of view. I have the old diffuser here, complete with holes, burn holes in it. Boy, I wonder how close this really came to catching fire. Probably not terribly close, but under the right circumstances, maybe. Maybe. That would be scary. We'll turn it back on. We'll just play around with this diffuser and others. Now, if I can make this work better in the camera, probably getting farther away would do it. And I'll make the lighting a little more indirect here in my shot. Okay. Switch on the radio again. Wow. Wow. Well, there's no shortage of light. That's for sure. Actually, these lights are so pinpoint bright. I walked around the house with with a burn spot on my eye for a while. I was surprised. You know, from looking at the light. So this is what a yellow diffuser would do. Well, that's not bad, eh? I mean, you can see there's a little hot here, a little hot here, and a little dark in the middle. But that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, what happens if we put in a straight white sheet of paper? Well, we get a white dial out of it. Now, this diffuser, does it have to be back there? Oh, it has to be behind the pointers. God, where I put it right now. If I put it in front of the pointers, that's not going to work well. So that's the whole problem. They got to be in front of the lights but behind the pointers. And the structure for supporting it is two strings. Well, I'm very happy with the lights anyway. Now they're really beaming out the bottom. What that would look like back in the cabinet, I can't be sure. I think if I were to... There's a couple things I can do. One, I can put some kind of a diffuser right over the bulb itself. I'm going to let this run a little bit and we'll see how warm these get. Are they warming up at all? I kind of wouldn't expect them to. I don't feel any heat in them whatsoever. Surely they've been on long enough already that if they're going to get hot, they would be warm by now. So that's great. So I could put a diffuser over top of them in some way, something. And especially the amount of light that's going down is all being thrown away. There may be something I can do to cause the light to be reflected up and back to the front again. Clearly what's needed is more coffee, because the coffee seems to be really helping out. I'm a coffee achiever. Do you remember that? Coffee achievers? When I was a kid watching cartoons on the weekend in the morning, these advertisements would come on. Join the coffee achievers. Type that into YouTube or Google. Coffee achievers and see what you find. Okay, so what I've done is I've put the lights in my shop here to what would be daylight lighting, bright lighting in a room. And I've doubled up the paper here, just folded it once. Jeepers, look at that. Some of the light is coming down, fooling me a little bit. So that's with one. That's pretty uniform right across the front and quite visible. Peanut, really? Now? If we go back to the single sheet, it's brighter, but we see the two spots here. Now in the dark, that's going to be awfully bright. Let's take a look. Hang on there for a minute. Let's see what it looks like in total darkness here. Total. Whoa. Close this. Bye, cat. Close the door on you. Well, that is just beaming out. Now it looks brighter in the camera than it does with my eye. I certainly have a big problem with all this light down here, which I think would come through the buttons and everything. You really don't want it to come through, but it's a look, that's for sure. Wow, those lights are great. I was so worried they'd be short on light. They're not. Okay, I'm going to concentrate now on how to reflect up the light from below. That's being kind of thrown away a bit. Looks great. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is the original diffuser paper was where it was to prevent exactly that from happening. So it's held out about, I don't know, half-inch, centimeter or so away from the light bulbs. What happened with this one was the bottom support. This is actually this way. The paper just tore open, came off, and then instead of being on its angle, it just floated flat like this up against the light bulbs. So this heating problem doesn't exist anymore. There's no reason why I can't be placing a diffuser up against the light bulb, around the light bulb. We're doing something quite different than trying to support it between all these strings. You see, like there's a whole nest of strings down in there. Oh, many strings. I could eliminate this support string if I can do that. So I'm going to pursue that little idea a bit. That would be much more convenient. And how would you do it? Well, you could literally take a piece of paper and stick it right up against those bulbs. It would be in behind everything. And then you could something like glue it onto the bulb thing. I don't know how long that would last. Onto the bulb thing. Yes, you could glue it to the bulb thing. Let's get an experimental piece going here. So if I was going to put it up against the bulb, it would be something like that. Actually, you know what? There's the way the metal is bent at the bottom, it would hold it. It would hold it more or less like that. Let's just move the pointer over a little bit. So what happens if I use that as the diffusing method? You have to have something go right across though, because you need a uniform view through the window. Can't be like it is now. But well, maybe I can do that. How long was this? Make a measurement. Right down to the bottom. Cut it something like that. You can actually hang it. Actually hang it from the top and let it hang, because again, it doesn't matter if it's touching the. By Jove, that's got to be the way to do it. You just got a folded piece of paper, hang it from the top string. Problem is, this top string is. See, it's coming into contact with the pointer, so if we come across, boom. Now, if the paper went all the way and was fixed, then it would just drag over top of the. That's not much of anything there. You have to worry about the lower string. That's pretty interesting. Let's put it right in front of the light here. Well, let's cut out. Let's cut a full-size piece. Full-size piece. The white paper is really hard on the camera. So the human eye, like I guess all or most biological eyes, are really, really fantastic in terms of the range of light that you can tolerate. And another effect, a brain effect, that as you travel from room to room in your house, or go from, especially from indoors to outdoors, the color of the light is changing. Yet you don't perceive the colors you're seeing as changing. So if I had an orange pillow here and I looked at it, I go, okay, that's a certain color of orange. So I went outside and looked at it, I'd say, oh, it's the same color of orange. But it's not. A camera might show a difference. But our eyes and our brain is really what's doing the work, will compensate for that. Okay, so it's just a little bit too long. This might be much easier than I expected. Okay, so it's not quite long enough here. It has to be, well, it should be the same length as the original one, shouldn't it? The original one's much bigger. It's definitely a game of millimeters in there. Let's see what this looks like as it is. Here we go. So with all this light on, it's not terribly dramatic. Now I've moved the diffuser back towards the bulbs, and so I think the spot is stronger now. Because when you're looking at it, you're looking at what's on the diffuser. If we pull the diffuser forward, we get it more diffused. Yeah, you know what? The best place would be right on the back of this. Right on the, no, but then the pointers, you can't see the pointers. speaking of which, there's a pointer. There's the other pointer way down here. Quite visible. Let me douse the light a bit. So this would be evening lighting in somebody's house. Easily seen, the pointer. So, but I certainly see a hot spot here and here. Looks pretty similar in the camera, really. A little brighter in the camera than. Interestingly enough, even at the edge of the paper, beyond it there's no diffuser, but there's enough light kicking around back in there to actually fill it out. You can hardly tell there's a problem with the diffuser there. So I got quite a few options now. And interesting enough, the paper has opened a bit. So now I have a diffuser back here, a space in between, and another sheet here. Double diffuser. So even though the back of it is touching the bulbs, the front is not. That's pretty good, but that pointer is dragging right on the paper. Whoops, let's go to the other one. Right on the paper. Doesn't seem to make a hill of beans worth of difference. Actually, it's not. It's not touching the paper. But the FM one is. You can hear it, I think. The camera went out of focus. Come on. Sometimes when the light is low, the camera cannot achieve automatic focus. You can do it. It doesn't want to do it. Okay. Well, it looks like a simple matter of just dropping a sheet in exactly like I've done, and getting it the right length. And certainly do that for now, and keep an eye on it and see how it goes. Now this has to tip back a little bit further, but that won't matter. Wonderful. I was really quite worried about this step not going well. Come on, camera. There we are. But I think it's gone fantastic. The slightly less current drawn by these two lights lowers the load on the transformer in here too, a little bit. Maybe actually a significant amount. Very good. Okay. Maybe that's as far as I have to go with that. What else is left with this radio? Some cleanup stuff. So I've done the first cleaning of the front face here with just water, just to get the dust and dirt off of it. Yeah, gotta clean up those buttons. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so what happens if we try some different colors here of paper, rather than just this rather bland white color? What if we put a little bit of a blue piece in there? Ooh, wow. Wow, has that ever blew it up? Let's try a little more. Let's try a purpley color here. It's a little more in keeping with the front. We've got an orangey piece, pinkish orange piece. Ooh. Of course, it's just my my own personal. Wow, look at that. Look at that. white just looks a little bit sterile to me. This looks a lot warmer. I guess that would be what you would call that. Well, you know, I can do a couple different colors to put them in. Continue with doing what I'm doing with the radio, which isn't much. And then make a decision. White or orange. Okay, here's what it's like without the light. Gone. Okay, I've trimmed in the orange piece. Let's see what it really looks like. Wow, that's pretty orange. That's under a lot of light. Let's take the light down. So what I see two very distinct hot spots here. Why were they not so visible before? So the diffuser is right up against the bulb here. We pull it away a bit. Makes a big difference. So this comes to the idea that this is a double sheet. I had to notch this out to make it fit. This is what would be needed. Double sheet, but if I can diffuse the lights somehow, I don't know how. Well, again, let's see what I can come up with. Maybe we should take a close look at one of these bulbs. So right there's the actual LED, that little spot there. It looks to me like it's smaller than the filament would have been in the original light. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. Very bright. Right there, and that looks like a solid, looks like it's in a solid piece of clear plastic. Now, a couple things I can do here. We'll look at the front of it. It appears to be kind of lensed. It's got a bit of a bend in it, but of course this is aimed straight down. It's not aimed out. So we're already getting some amount of diffusion. Maybe if I covered this end of it, I could cover it with, well, everything from glue, just some glue on there. I would think kind of like a white glue, but most glue is clear when it dries. Or paint. I could paint this whole thing here. I could paint it. Well, most paint is completely opaque. I'm not sure what it would look like on the plastic there. I could sand this surface. Sand it. That might make it a little more diffuse right there. So I could wrap paper around it. Or some kind of tape. Some kind of tape that is going to stay there. That's a little tricky, and would let light through. I'm not sure what that would be. Could get something colored too. Could wrap that with a colored piece of paper, instant colored light. Wouldn't have to be right onto the plastic. It could fit onto this white ring here. Some kind of a cap. Why do I got that's like that? Do I just happen to have something? I'm also thinking this isn't the only radio like this. A lot of these radios come in and the light is shot. And other radios too. These are probably really good replacements. They're a little expensive, but not break your bank expensive. They're expensive for a light bulb. Not so. I'll think about all those options now. Well, here's what I've come up with so far. A straw. This is the only straw I think I have. And as luck would have it, it's just not quite big enough to go around it. This would be nice because it's stiff. You can extend it down this way so the light that's beaming out would start diffusing out of here. This would be a great thing. I could just get it to go on. Okay, a similar, this is a shrink sleeve. Now this is great too because you could shrink it on. But it's the same deal. It's already too small to go on, at least easily. You could probably stretch it and then get it on. Likewise, you could have this come down a ways. Now, I don't have any white like this. I have a lot of yellow this size and other colors, but yellow's probably okay. Probably do yellow on a white piece of paper and get a fairly nice effect. Another possibility is, yes, this is a rubber glove. So if we took the light, stuck it inside the finger, just kind of bag the light. The beauty of this is it's really easy to do. I can try this. Not sure how much of a diffusing effect it has. Okay, these fingers are all the same size. Is the pinky little? Not really. That must be the thumb. This would be the pinky. It is a little smaller. Okay, goodbye pinky. We'll cut it kind of big. Now we gotta get this onto the light. Bag that light. Okay. There it is. Bag of light. Lots of problems doing this, but I'm going to try it anyway, just take a look at it. See what we get out of it. I'll grab the white diffuser. There's the light on again. It's in the wrong spot. I hold it too far forward and get a false idea of the effect of it. It's got to be where it's got to be. Well, I can't see any difference between here and here. The more I see the white, I like the white as opposed to the color. The color. Yeah, it's not really doing much. If we look at it even from here. So this looks much more like a sharp point than this. It's doing something. Maybe it's part of the answer. I need a better bulb diffuser than the finger from a glove. Okay, let's see what else I can come up with. Okay, so I did come up with another idea. These are the styrofoam things you find in packaging, you know, spacers. And I'm thinking, why don't we just kind of get the light to go right in there. What would happen? I don't know if this can dimensionally work. Let's try to drill it. Well, the drill's going in, but yeah, a little bit came out. I don't think there's room for such a big thing in there, but I think it's of interest to try it. You know, one idea leads to another. So what if we had that on there? What would happen now? On again. Certainly does diffuse it, or diffuse it, depending upon how you want to say that word. Okay, if I put this down in here, I don't think it's interfering with the pointer at all. I can actually sit like that. Now, if we take the white paper, double sheet, I wouldn't even know I'd done it. Compared to like that, it just looks very same as that. Both in the camera. The camera actually is showing you what it looks like to the eye. That's a pretty good rendition there. Seems like no matter what I do, I cannot get rid of the darker area and a bit of a spot there. Interesting that putting this on didn't really do anything. Very surprised at that. You would just think that would have to do something. Now these lights are not getting warm at all. You'd think that would just have to have some effect. And there's no light coming through the bottom. Can we get an idea of just how much light is coming through the bottom? Just looking at it. Interesting. The bulk of the light, I don't know what you see in the camera, nothing. You see nothing. The bulk of the light shining out the side is a reflection from the inside surface of the bottom. So the light is coming down off the LED, then hitting this concave surface and being scattered out the sides. Because it's a very bright spot there, but it's a reflection of the actual LED. And that's why this doesn't make much difference. Can't see anything in the camera at all, and I'm going blank. I'm staring at the sun. I can't see. My direct vision has gone dark. Okay, made up my mind. Going with a white diffuser, have it on the string, taping the bottom here. Place. To get it behind everything it needs to be behind. Cut it again. This isn't down. Let's try that. I know it might take a couple of tries to get this right. I've got it taped, sealed. Missed the mark by a fair bit. Do this. Still not long enough, or not cut off enough. Hoping to do is apply some tape down here at the bottom, hold the bottom in place. I need to cut it here just a little bit more. Got some very strong aluminum tape. It's actually, I think it's a muffler tape is what it really is. Very, very strong glue on it. There we are. That's in place. Just tape it back here like that. I think we're done. No, I'm not going to tape it right now because that's a little bit permanent. We're going to leave it like that. And just to make sure that I haven't not thought of something, actually we are going to tape it with just a little bit of this tape. That tape won't do it. That won't do it. It won't stick on the metal. Dirt on the metal, but the other tape, well, I've curled this now. Ah! Well, the tape will hold it back. Like so. Pulls the string down just enough. Clearance up there. Got a kink in it, I've got pencil marks on it. Duh. Pencil marks in any way visible. No, you'll never see them. They're up. They're very high. They're up in behind here. I'm looking down. You'll never see them. Very good. Well, it still has a couple of hot spots. is fading up and down. Yeah, just faded right out. Oh boy. Well, that couldn't be the radio signal itself, could it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh is right. Just noise. Now it's very hard to hear subtle fading up and down. Ears aren't very good at that. Okay, sign of things to come. I need to finish up on the paper. And then I think that problem is probably from bad solder connections underneath on the chassis. I'm going to do a little bit of resoldering under there and see if I can get rid of that fading in and out. That's really quite unnerving. That kind of problem, very hard to find. Okay, so this is the piece of software that I use to concatenate all the little video clips I make when I do these videos. This is a free software program. Shotcut is what it's called, Shotcut. Okay, so down here is the video clip I just did. It goes all the way from here to here. It's about 30 minutes long, a little more than 30 minutes long. Most of it is this eye here. If I click anywhere in here, you'll see the camera shot that's being applied. There we are. And you could hear a little bit of the sound. Here's the sound. Okay, just at this point. So if we look all the way along, down here, we're seeing the output level. And when I look at it offhand, I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I don't see any waves, but maybe it's because, you know, this is a half an hour here. Maybe if I stretch it out, this looks a little wavier here at the front, right at the start. So I'm going to stretch this out. Okay, make sure we're looking right at the front here again. So any waves in there? I just don't see anything. what I'm going to do, because I can undo this, is I'm going to cut the film right here, the video, and then I'm going to go down here, I'm going to cut it here. And I'm going to delete this portion. You know what, maybe I cut it a little too far. Well, let's try this, because I can undo this anyway. So I'm going to select that, I'm going to remove it, and we're just going to play this piece. And this is kind of a weird situation here. I've got microphones going, and the sound may... I don't know what's happening to the sound internally from this video, so I'm just going to leave the microphone going here. I'll put on my own headphones to get an idea of what you're hearing here. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's try that again. Listen for a change in the tone, not the background noise, the tone. I would say absolutely nothing. Nothing changed. Okay, so I'm going to undo that, and undo that, and undo that. So now it's all there again. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to come in a little further. I'm going to cut it here. Cut. Okay, then I'm going to go way down here. I'm going to cut it near the end here. To me, it looks like it's getting louder as time goes by. That's what it looks like. We'll cut it here. Okay, I'll remove this piece in the middle. Okay, and we're going to play right through it, and we'll see what happens here. Here we go. So what I hear happening is the background noise has changed a little bit. Bearing in mind I've retuned the radio twice, maybe by the time we get down here, and so that may have changed the background noise slightly. But in terms of the tone, I couldn't hear any difference. Let's try it again. It's tricky because you know, we're human beings and we have psychoacoustic effects that take place. Okay, I'm just reinserting it back. Well, I think what this tells me is there is no up and down. Actually, in doing that, just keep your eye on the line here, and I'm going to swing the stuff underneath it. Just watch. Whoop! that didn't exactly work the way I thought it would. Okay, so keep your eye, I don't know, keep your eye right here. Maybe keep it fixed on this number. It doesn't work either. Yeah, okay, well, the plan hasn't worked well. Okay, look right here. Just keep your eye on that. So I see a gentle rise all the way up to somewhere around here, and then so who knows what that is, but it's very, very slight. Could be ever so slight retuning of the radio. I don't hear any fading. I don't hear any fading. I don't see any fading anyway. Well, it is possible I'd have to repeat that test on FM, but I'm going to carry on and pretend there's nothing wrong, and until it appears again, what I think was happening, which maybe was just my imagination running away with me. Okay, what's left is some cleanup. That's about it. That's fantastic. There's a last look in at the radio before it goes in the cabinet. Actually, it's already been in the cabinet. I had to come back out because I hadn't put the tape down here to hold this paper back. It has to be held back or it's going to interfere with the spring or pointer or something. So there we go. Next stop. Let's see, I got clean knobs. Yeah. Next stop, back in the cabinet. Okay, I think we're ready for the final test of the radio. Looks great. Pretty good for something that was saved from going to the dump. That would have been too bad. So here we go. We're going to start with the broadcast band, AM radio, and see what we get. That was a little odd, wasn't it? Was that me, or was it delayed? Okay, so we're running at 117 volts, normal voltage. There we go. So that's 860, the French station. That's a fair distance from here. That's a good radio picks this up. You can see how strong the noises are in my shop by what's going on here. I can't imagine we're going to pick anything else up. So outside of my shop, this will work much better than it will in here on AM. Okay, so let's try shortwave next. Okay, shortwave. We'll tune to the end here, and I have to attach the antenna. That would help. I didn't want the antenna attached while we were listening to AM. So. Okay, so we're tuned up here at, I guess that would be 19 megahertz there. It's way up there. Way up there. Okay, around 16. Get some stuff around here. Tricky to tune. That's got to be 15,770. Okay, we'll continue on down. So 13 megahertz. That could be conditions are poor today. Okay, we'll go down to about 11. This is 12 we're at now. Lots of stuff in there, but I think it's mostly noise. I may not have this antenna switched on properly. I better go check. Okay, let's just back up here.
¿Me entiendes? Mira, una de las cosas que más me llamó la atención, estábamos una tarde en la equipo de periodismo.
Although he says Cuba a lot, it's probably Radio Marti. This is in the 11 megahertz band, 25 meter band, right there. Okay, we'll go up to the next band, 19 meter band, up here. It's 4 in the afternoon here. Gotta be a sports game. This would be 770 here. I think that might be his master TV or something like that. Let's go back down past 11. It's picking up tons of stuff, but it's all noise, I'm pretty sure. Okay, coming around 10 megahertz.
The Lord worked with them and confirmed that they were preaching the gospel of Christ.
Just past 10.
And as you smiling and you sleep.
Supposed to be like 9.9 or something in that range.
And I thought, how very much like sleeping beauty.
See the tone difference between that station and the last one?
Into every part of the world, and they went.
That's too grown up, that sort of thing.
And thou shalt be called to preach the rest of paths to dwell. Stay thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight.
So that's 9330. Okay, strongest signal on the band all the time. And we just might get something down around here. 41 meter band. Or maybe not. No. Too low for this time of day. Okay, that was a short wave. Now we'll try the FM band. Go up at this is the bottom, frequency-wise, this is the bottom of the band. The eye is very helpful for tuning these in.
It's a jump that joint off a back road. Consiga seguir por onde o desejo guiar.
The individual before you, Andrew, said, and I respect what he said. It's antiquated, outdated, and I'm sorry, but we couldn't fight our way out of a wet paper bag to defend our country. And I get emotional about it because we can be better.
Guns and butter.
Saúde, Christie's Mill in Outlaw. Create moments that matter. Book your getaway at christiesmill.com.
Support your community and love local with Fresh 93.1.
Speech. Bass.
Whether you're looking for your first home, downsizing, or upgrading to grow your family,
Presents.
the Hearth and Home team is committed to finding you a house you
Brilliant.
love coming home to. Heather and Mary Ali are the friendly, knowledgeable, and reliable women
Trouble?
of the Hearth and Home team, here to guide you every step of the way and help you make the best decision for your family. Take the first step
Dirt in there.
and visit
Bass.
hearthhometeam.com. Sales representative, Remax Hallmark Shea Realty Brokerage.
It's hard to see, but there's a colored thing going up and down here.
With an unlimited data plan from Freedom Mobile.
Can't really
Now it's
see
time
it.
to
Have to look
accessorize.
close to see
Green
it.
shoes, green belt, green frosted tips. I totally could have been in a boy band.
Good. During that ad, I had a chance to check the tone without risking a copyright hit.
My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your long-term disability claim is denied for any reason, call me at 1-844-583-4878. And don't worry about upfront.
Not him. The sound quality, beautiful. Oh, I hope it's coming across on the video. Oh, that's great. Weak station here. One of my favorite performers. Very, very good quieting. This is another not very strong station. It's a very, very good radio on FM. She don't know that this song sounds the same as all the rest. There we are. That's the end. Well, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Beautiful sound coming out of this radio. I love the rich bass tones of these radios, and the bass isn't even boosted while we were listening to it, just briefly when I pushed the button over here. Fantastic. So thanks a lot for watching the series, and I've got a radio identical to this to carry on with now. See ya.
Called We. And to get you ready, this is a new song that is typically epic Arcade Fire. It also employs one of their greatest songwriting tactics, a major switch up halfway through. So you kind of get two songs in one. Listen for that. This is called The Lightning 1 and 2. Brand new music from Arcade Fire, debuting at number 18 on the CBC Music Top 20.
Tonight